for the first knockout event over 100 bugs that were found by and with the help of testers. He ended up getting very, very upset while trying to be nice, but then I think he ended it off with, well, it's nice that you put effort into this. I said I didn't put any effort into it. And he rage quit. You know, if this podcast gets likes, which I know it won't, I'll go bald.
Alright lads, welcome back to Midweek MC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with the amazing co-host, AJX. Hello AJX.
Oh, it's me! Hi everyone!
After last week's 20th episode takeover, we are we were joined with a guest. No way. Who we joined with, AJX?
Oh my god. We are joined with the one, the only, Lumboc.
Hello.
The mighty introduction for a little hello.
I almost forgot to unmute. You know?
That would have been quite funny actually. I mean, I would have cut out to be fair, so no one would ever know, but you know.
Yeah.
Are you pronouncing your name right? I've been calling you Lumboc this entire time, but part of me feels like
you know what? You're one of the rare people who actually are. So
what do people possibly call you?
Lumboc being one of them, which I mean, I guess.
No, I don't.
I don't either. But you know what else? Idiot sometimes, but that's you know.
I mean, that's fair enough at that point.
I get that as well. That's
exactly. That's the first thing AJX said to me when I joined.
As soon as you joined, hi, I'm also idiot. What other nicknames? Any fun ones?
Oh god, people used to call me Baldbach and 411.
Actually, Baldbach is like, like insane bald bits or bald bits, I used to get called.
None of them are true, but you know, we roll with it.
It's all part of the parcel, right?
I was going to say I'm the only one here that has been bald, but I've never been called Bald JX or anything like that.
It always hits the non-bald people. It's okay, except for Jack Vandervoort, but that's
yes,
that's a different scenario.
That's like part of his personality is being bald, so
exactly.
Literally his brand.
Exactly.
No, I could go bald. I'll make it part of my brand.
True. Maybe that is the next step. Anyway,
welcome to Midweek MC.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you here. I mean, you went from TubNet to InsideMC. I think it's quite the upgrade, honestly. But we'll get into talking about that.
Oh yeah, no, this is paying my paycheck times 10.
Yeah, even though we're not giving you money, this isn't sponsored. This isn't sponsored. If somebody wants to sponsor it, you can. I mean, we get like a solid 100 views, so the money will come in loads.
Brands set them up right now.
Exactly. Right. So, anyways, we like to give the intro for you to promote yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What did you do as well? Any fun facts, maybe, other than the fact that people call you idiot? What else is there?
Well, I'm Lumboc, or Noah. People also call me. That's my real name, Docs. But no, I've been in the Minecraft community for a lot of years by now. I started off on Invaderlands, actually, which is a server owned by Skeppy. Spent quite a long time there, got into content creation. After, I think, around 3 years at Invaded, I moved on to TubNet because they were looking for quality assurance testers. I was with them for the better half of like one year and 7 months, almost 2 years actually, where when they unfortunately shut down, I moved on to Misfits. That is my journey in this world.
Hell yeah.
Were you with TubNet from the beginning then? Sorry, I know you mentioned how you like...
no, so actually TubNet has been in the works for I think like 3 or 4 years. I think I might be wrong, but I think it's around then. Well, I mean, considering it's on hiatus, not right now, but no, I joined like kind of in the middle of it when they really started needing, I guess, QA testers.
Yeah, that's fair. And then you eventually moved on to running the events, which was a crazy step up.
Yeah, it was kind of random actually. I think because like I was originally hired as QA, and that's what I was focusing on for the better half, and then it was in the beginning or like actually it was like the middle of last year, 2023, where I think we needed extra people to work on our events. So I started working on designing it, or helping with designing it, taking most of those tasks, and that kind of just transitioned into me organizing them, and yeah, pretty much being the head organizer for it.
And some of the best TubNet moments we've seen in the last year.
What are some of the best TubNet moments?
Well, the TubNet Showdown stood out kind of as the biggest thing to kind of happen during TubNet's time, if that makes sense. That's like the point I'm trying to get. I mean, that's personal opinion. Yeah. You don't have to agree. No.
TubNet
Showdown.
No, I tend to agree. I mean, it was definitely our most popular thing. I mean, if you tend it from a viewer perspective, definitely more people watched that than joined the original server, which is sad. But I mean, that is the truth with running events. It's hard to convert people from the event to actually play on the server.
Yeah.
So no, I don't remember on it, but I mean, definitely impression wise, we were doing really well with the showdown events. They did do or perform very well. I mean, we did them way before I even organized them. We had a game called Knockout, which is what I was trying to transition it into, which is a more fast-paced game, not like really Hunger Games based. Less, I mean, it's still skill based, but it was more like it's not like you're very dependent on PvP for it. I mean, you kind of are, but at the same time, the old one was, I think, survival games or our own take on like a battle royale game mode. So PvP wise and making it more accessible, it was definitely a big step up, which probably brought on a lot of new people.
I was a very big fan of Knockout. Definitely one of my favorite games. I mean, it's kind of.
I think it was the best game, like, without a doubt.
I think for the better half, like for the second half of 2023, at least, it became the only playable game. Sadly, which is, I mean, it sucks to say, but it is the truth. Like,
well, no, I definitely get that. I mean, it was the most original game we had as well.
Yeah,
because I mean, we had Light Strike, Crystal Rush, and Battle Royale, which all are. I mean, Light Strike, we tried to be original, but I mean, you can compare it to like Quakecraft and other games like that. Crystal Rush, again, while trying to take a unique take on it, which I definitely think we did. This is still pretty similar to Bet Wars, so we had competition in all those game modes. But Knockout was the first like real game mode we made that really stood out as a, I guess, new game mode in a sense in the Minecraft community.
Exactly, and I mean, it was the only tournament or the only TubNet Showdown was on that game mode.
Yeah, no, that's what we tried switching it to. Which I mean, we did a pretty quick transition to it, which
it worked in my opinion.
It did work. I can get on to all the other stuff later. We had a bunch of public testers that helped us with that, which was, I mean, probably the biggest help. We set up like a whole public tester team in our Discord. We sent out a form, and I think we got like 200 responses in a day, which was great. So we kind of took those public testers and had them help us test the event, which without them, the event would have never been nowhere near where it was. I think because we publicly said this in the Discord, so I should be good to say it. We had for the first knockout event over 100 bugs that were found by and with the help of testers.
That's what they're for, right?
So no, exactly. So with the short time span we had, they were the biggest help we could have ever asked for.
When you say short like time span, was that like due to sponsorships, or was that kind of just brought upon yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, we worked with sponsorships and brands. I mean, we did the Samsung Showdown.
The first one, right?
Yeah, the first TubNet Showdown with Knockout.
Okay. And that one wasn't sponsored, was it, or was it?
No, I don't think it was. It might have actually been. Okay. I don't remember how many of them we did. It may or may not have been, but either way, we had like a calendar or a schedule that we had to follow. We wanted to follow because we wanted to do them on a consistent basis. So I guess in terms of brands and stuff, it's all about meeting deadlines. So so with I think it was around a month we had in between the showdowns, which is what we tried to do. Within that month, we had to make it playable with Knockout and make it work with Knockout. And again, that's why those public testers were such a massive help, because it is, again, like a big switch in what we had done before and what we wanted to do. And then I got the crazy idea to add a showdown stage to it to prevent them from lasting infinite of time, which also came with a lot of issues. So those testers were amazing there.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to take us back to the beginning. So how did you first get introduced to TubNet? Did you know of it before? And like, what was sort of the hiring process for you?
Yeah, it's probably a good step to take first. So I was working at Invaderlands at the time, which I mentioned, and I saw a post on Twitter from TubNet. I've seen of TubNet before. I didn't know anyone who worked there. I didn't really know anything or a lot about it. I'd seen the Twitter. I think I followed the Twitter. I probably did, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it.
Tubbo was by any chance?
Actually, funny story. We used to play on an SMP together a while ago.
Wow.
It was called SMP Universe, I think. It was ran by Voice Over Pete, if you know who he is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I kind of, because I wasn't that big of a creator back then. I had maybe like 3,000, 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I kind of snuck my way into that event through mutual connections and stuff. And I think it was actually Tubbo who came up to me there. This was probably like 4 years ago, probably. Maybe, 3 or 4. And that's kind of how I got introduced to Tubbo. I knew a little bit about them before because they were kind of taking over the Hypixel Skyblock space at the moment, which was a game I was a lot or into a lot. Yeah, so I kind of knew of him before. We became slight friends in there. We went on the same team. We actually, funny enough, back then when I didn't ever think about getting into QA, we broke the server massively. We got into a lot of trouble with the admins, but I mean that's what you do, right? We
That's part of the fun.
the first thing we did, because it had little rooms where you could live in or have your own little basin, temporary base, and then they would have like different universes you could travel to and get resources and different civilizations and stuff. But I remember we found out that pistons worked in those rooms because you could build in them. So we started pushing the walls and blocking all of the hallways so people couldn't get into their bases anymore. And I mean, the admins caught on to that pretty quickly. So the next thing we did, and I think there's a clip of it somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. But we managed to get TNT, and we found out because the server was using multiverse portals. So we managed to blow up the portal in a dimension or in a, I guess, world of that server, so people couldn't or go out of it anymore, go back to their bases, and the admins weren't happy about that. So I guess that's how I was really introduced to QA, which is funny because that all linked together with Tubbo in the end.
That is bizarre. That's bizarre to me.
It's very random. I just thought of that.
Kind of like picking out a point that you mentioned there, and it's like not to do with QA, it's just another question because we're going to be talking a lot about like your QA and stuff experience. So I kind of want to pick out the questions that we aren't going to touch on too much. You said about like connections and stuff. I mean, you had a lot, and I don't believe it was only you who invited people to TubNet Showdowns, or even if you did invite people, I'm assuming you did, part of the parcel.
I might have a few, yeah.
But so like how does one make the connections you made for like anyone looking to kind of like branch out or like hopefully grow within it? I mean, I do it through the podcast. That's my way of making the connections I make, is because I run the podcast. But then how do you go about it? Or how did you go about it?
Originally I didn't really have a big name in the Minecraft community. I wasn't really known by anyone, which I mean is fine. I got into watching Skeppy when I was younger. I enjoyed his content a lot. Found out he had a server called Lands, which I then just one random day thought, you know what, I'm gonna apply for staff. That was actually after getting to know some of the staff a bit more. One of them named Hamodi, which I became pretty good friends with. We were super chill, and he was definitely one of those people who vouched for me a lot to get the position. So probably due to him, and also due to making a decent application at the time for what I was probably 14, maybe a little bit older. I might have been 16. Actually, I don't remember. So many years ago.
Yeah.
It was 2020. Yeah. No, I think I might have been 16. So I sent in my application. I got accepted as a trial mod, and I just ended up working there for 3 years. Ended up getting promoted to moderator, then senior moderator, then admin, and then manager. But taking it back a little bit, we had a few people working in there making content. Skeppy being one of them, but Cellcam being another one. He hasn't made a lot of content recently. He stopped a bit ago, but I started, I guess, helping them with their videos once in a while. I got my first bit of recognition, and so I thought, you know what, why don't I start my own YouTube channel? Because other people were doing it. I was like, you know, I can do that too. So I started my YouTube channel Lumboc and started posting videos on Lands, trolling people, because that was the big meta on Lands back then. And that's where I slowly started picking up, I guess, a small following back then. I started doing more live streams and just getting into the community, really. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but for like starting a YouTube channel, I got to, I guess, 100 pretty quickly, or you know, what you would expect normally, because again, like there was a group of people there that I could, I guess, not heavily advertise myself to, but kind of subconsciously advertise myself to, because I was a part of that server. I made the trolling videos. I started streaming, and that's how people kind of got my name on there, and I did that for a while. I kept helping Cellcam with videos now and then, Skeppy with a few videos now and then. And then I think one day a guy named A60, he made a server called Outdated Lands, which was supposed to be a joke, like a direct copy of Lands. And he was, again, a guy who was pretty well known in the community by, I guess, Skeppy and other bigger YouTubers, because he was friends with Skeppy.
He stole the
Actually, some of them. No, so I joined on there as a joke. He recognized recognized me from being, I guess, I don't remember what it was back then, the moderator or senior mod, but I guess he recognized me from there, and we kind of became friends. So we started getting into calls more and chatting more and talking more, and we're kind of just chill with each other from there. So I guess on the side, that was my first, I guess, real connection, if you don't count Skeppy or Cellcam.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, he had a name in the community. He didn't have as many subscribers as he does now, but he had a pretty big name. But at the same time, MunchMC, owned by Bad Boy Halo, was also a pretty big server. So, and we were pretty close with them at Invaderlands because, I mean, the communities were pretty much the same. Skeppy and Bad Boy Halo being really good friends. Yeah. So it all kind of lined up. And Bad Boy Halo did the thing back then where he did events, and I don't really remember how I managed to do it, but I managed to become one of those people that Bad Boy Halo saw and he got really mad at, in a joking way, but I used to try and piss him off a lot because I thought it was funny. So I made a server called BaldyMC because there was an ongoing joke of him being bald, and it was like Outvaderlands. Literally. It was a direct copy of his server, MunchMC, which I then managed, because 60 knew him really well. I managed to get him on, and first he thought it was pretty cool until he saw the name, that is. So I gave him a nice tour of the server while streaming it. He ended up getting very, very upset while trying to be nice, but then I think he ended it off with, well, it's nice that you put effort into this. I said I didn't put any effort into it. And he rage quit. But that's kind of how I built the connection from there. So I guess those were my first, in a sense, real connections. I kept on uploading to YouTube. I kept on making videos. I kept on expanding like the people I knew. BaldyMC actually kept running, and I got a lot of people on there. I got builders, I got dev, all of those
you just
people.
Made it serious for no reason.
Oh, I mean, the server isn't up, but the Discord server still exists. But I made it serious, and the server was running for, I think, 3 years.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we it was supposed to be a joke, but we thought, you know what, we might as well keep it up. We obviously, for reasons, removed all the MunchMC builds and stuff like that and made it our own thing. But we actually managed to make it a decent sized server, which, I mean, 40 players on average was fine. So that kept on running for a while until some people on the staff team decided it was a good idea to go rogue, so that we had to redo all of it. But no, that kind of leans me back into how I got into SMP Universe, because we had a builder on there who helped build for that server, and they mentioned it to me, and I thought, you know what, it'd be funny if I could get on there. So we kind of got me on there to help quote unquote build, but I didn't really build. I think I built one small thing, and then I somehow managed to get my way onto the SMP, where I met, I think, and I hate to say it, I didn't know who he was. Jack Manifold, Tubbo.
Just found out who Jack Manifold is. They ruined.
Oh no, because that was when he had his name like Thunder something, and I'm gonna be honest, I had no clue in the world who that guy was. He was there.
He rebranded.
Well, maybe. Well, I didn't even know who he was before that. It was actually until someone pointed it out to me that Thunder was Jack Manifold. I was like, huh? But no, so I met a lot of people through there, and then it kind of just throughout the years, I tried, I mean, on Invaderlands, I met a lot of people. I met Verb, I met a bunch of random people through there. Got a decent sized following on Twitter, met more people through there, and then it just kind of ended up being, I guess, the career path I chose in Minecraft ended up being one of those things that always working for people who I guess are bigger than the community than I am, or just people who, you know, have more connections than me, end up always translating into more connections. And I mean, I'm not using them for connections, but that's just kind of how it goes. So for like, if anyone's listening, my point is like, don't just befriend people just because you want connections. That's a shitty move. But that's kind of how you meet new people. And I guess for me, it was always a thing. Like, I didn't see them, like, I've never been a person to like fanboy over people. I just see them as individuals. So I think it's one of those things, just being chill around people and you know, making a good impression of yourself eventually led to me, you know, making all these connections. And then of course, I mean, TubNet hosting or organizing TubNet Showdown was a big one for meeting new people in the creator space and in general.
And then it all led you to finally get into VC with AJX.
Yeah. I know. I don't know how that happened, but we're here.
The entire story brought you to here.
That's my life story. There's nothing before that. That's just the first thing.
Personally, I was going to say, you know, I'd never fake a connection to get on a podcast.
Yeah.
One of the biggest.
Yeah, no, we talk about
Never
this
do
like
that.
every other podcast, AJ. So you don't need to bring it up again, okay? We get it. We get it. You used me. It's fine. I mean, I have a question, Lumboc.
Yes.
Like, I'm not because like of the podcast. So like, assuming you'd never come on the podcast, how
Right.
did you like? I am actually making this sound weirder than what I'm about to ask. How did you guys kind of decide who to invite to TubNet, and like why wasn't I ever invited, for example? There we go. So
Well, you see, I had no clue who you were until you reached out to me respectfully.
Well, hey.
No,
I mean, also,
Oh,
how
mate.
did you guys decide to like invite people?
so I mean, we have a creator Discord, which was way before my time.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, so we had that creator Discord that, of course, like once we started doing the showdowns and I started helping with that, got added to. And in the beginning, we only invited people from, I guess, the Discord. So after a while, we noticed that, I mean, it's hard to align with everyone's schedule. We really want to expand on this, and it wasn't really a thing that we heavily expanded on, but I created a player council of the players on the SMP to kind of help, or not, why am I talking about SMP? The event to kind of help with team balancing, because that was one of the biggest issues that we faced, and that's often because, you know, me sitting alone, probably not knowing everyone's skill level, just making the teams and creating some pretty imbalanced teams. One being, I think, Fruitberries and Purpled, which didn't age well. They did very, very, very good.
Oh, really? I'm
no,
actually so shocked by that. Damn.
no, I don't know how that slipped through my head, but it ended up being a thing. And so afterwards, yeah, so afterwards it ended up being a thing that, okay, maybe we should make a player council. So I advertised to ask people if they were interested, and we ended up getting, I think, like 5 people in it. Let me pull up the names here. Actually, a bit more. We got Antfrost, Caraway, Feinberg, Firebreathman, Kane, Shatter, Wolfie, and Greninja in there, and they all, you know a lot of people in the Minecraft community. They're all super nice people. So with the help of them, I kind of balanced the teams and created the teams, but that also led to us needing substitute players that were, I guess, in a skill level that kind of matched with what we needed to make the whole event balanced.
Yeah, you invited
and
two
that's
Bedrock
where
people. Sorry, not to cut you off, my bad. I'm just gonna say, I know like Turbo.
Oh no, you're good.
And Turbo Piggy.
Actually, I think you're both in there actually.
They're both subs. Yeah. Oh, they were both subs anyways.
Oh yeah, no, I think Turbo Pig actually won one of them.
Yeah, I came third with Feinberg, got subbed in for the final event.
Yeah,
I know my stuff.
You've researched it. Oh my god.
I mean, Turbo. I used to be a Bedrock content creator, so like Turbo and I.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You're more prepared than I am for this. But no, so we kind of invited some people through there. I had some people reach out to me, and I thought, you know what, we are expanding on it. So, you know, I'd love to have you in. One of them being Floativs and some other people. I don't remember everyone. There were a lot of people who reached out to me. Not everyone we could add, because I mean we obviously had some requirements to get in. We can't just invite, you know, everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Respectfully. I mean, I've had people reach out to me and had to deny them just, and I feel bad every time, because, you know, I want everyone to have a chance, but again, it's
sponsored
like
by Samsung. You got to kind of think, like, for instance, like I average nowadays like 5 viewers on Twitch. I mean, the only way I would have been invited would be through like the podcast. I mean, which isn't the reason I invited you on, because I would have just said, never mind, TubNet shut down, I don't want you anymore. Still brought you on, so it's clearly not the reason. But like, you know, that's the only way. For example, me and AJX probably would have stood a chance of getting him, because like
probably. I mean, the thing is, I want to invite people who, you know, work on content creation. We don't mind having small creators, because we do have small creators. I think the main takeaway is just we want someone who is dedicated to the community, someone who cared about the community and really put in effort to stand out in here. And I think if we saw people who, you know, tried to do that and really wanted to do that, they definitely had a chance of becoming a part of it. And then, I mean, I revamped the YouTube rank requirements on TubNet, because we didn't really have any specific ones set. And one of the perks of having YouTube rank on there was also being invited to the creator Discord. So we kind of got some people from there as well, I think 1 or 2. But no, I mean, generally it was just, I mean, if we needed people, I reached out to 1 or 2 people in my friends list, or even more maybe, who I knew were big creators in the space. And otherwise, sometimes we had some people from the council invite their friends that were also pretty big in the creator space. And I mean, still still with that, we still had times where, I mean, people are going to drop out no matter what. Last minute stuff comes up, that's fair. So we've had to, you know, pull people in last minute. And it was kind of just, I guess, more, again, a connection based thing. Like if someone knew someone who was ready and want to play, who was also in the Minecraft community, we invited them.
Fair enough. Speaking of, I guess, like, still kind of, we're going to talk about TubNet quite a lot here, and it's going to be like kind of all over the place. I'm not asking you questions in an order, and we're kind of just asking you
you're fine.
on just what's on topic. So TubNet was officially released to Java Edition. I know, like, you weren't there from the start. It was like officially on November 25th, 2022. It lasted over a year. I mean, fair, big props overall, considering like the player counts and stuff. Big props keeping, like, not you, but I just mean in general, TubNet staying like kind of up as a server for that long. And it is sad to see it go on hiatus. You know, you joined, you were a QA tester. I guess, like, more in depth here, how did the whole process of you kind of switching? So I like, you know, we've mentioned it, but
we're good. It's okay. We're going back and forth. That's
what
how
is the
these
whole,
things
like,
go.
what is the full-on process of you going from QA tester to now what also, I guess, a two-part question here, what was entailed in managing the event? Like, because, you know, we kind of said it, but we haven't really gone into depth of what exactly you did to fully manage the event. Does that make sense?
So I mean, let's take it from, I guess, the start. So we can kind of go back to how I got into the position in the first place, which was through a tweet that I then applied through. I got an interview, the whole process, and then afterwards heard back, got invited as a QA member on TubNet. So that's kind of how I started everything off. And I started in a team of around 15 people. That was back in May of 2022, so almost half a year before the server itself released, where we primarily, they had the base of all games done. That's why they need QA. They needed people to, I guess, test all the games and make sure they work as intended. That's kind of the main thing we focused on as game testers back then. I wasn't QA lead. I wasn't anything, huge role in there. I was just a QA tester, which was, I guess, first of all, a super cool thing. Testing video games, and then, having it as a job, that was something I've never thought of before. But video games were a huge passion for me, so it was like it perfectly just aligned with what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, this is great. And through there, I met some very, very cool people, but especially like two people I can't name because I don't know their IGNs. They use their real names there. But I met a few really cool people there that I became super close friends to, and we were kind of the people who just loved doing QA. We set extra hours just testing in our free time, even outside of testing sessions, and it just kind of led on for a while. So that kind of just led into me transitioning to that role. And there were people who were a lot better at QA testing than I was. Like I had no idea what the scope of QA testing was at that point, or like that big of a scope. I had a pretty good idea from Invadalands, working with exploits and dupes and all of those things. But there was just a whole nother side like of everything QA based that I never thought of in especially Minecraft, which led to a huge, I guess, learning process. But again, because it was something I cared about a lot, it was one of those things that became, I guess, in my own works, pretty good at. So I did that for pretty much all the time until I kind of got into the organization position or event organization position. And in terms of how we kind of do it, I think the main focus was back then we didn't really have a big structure to it. I think it's important when you host an event that you have a process that you follow to make sure that you have it as streamlined as possible, mostly to prevent risks and prevent issues arising along the way, making sure that you get everything done in time. And I think that the main part of being the person organizing them and kind of planning them was that, of course, we had like a whole production team who said, okay, this is the date, and I worked around that. But I remember creating a calendar that we had to follow, which included everything, such as like when to start, when to do a play test, when to get all the art finished, stuff like that. And that was like the key to just making the process a lot easier for everyone. Following that, we used internal tools to kind of make sure everyone was on track with it. But then, of course, also me reaching out to people, making sure they know what to do, like when to do it, especially working together with the developers, because I am still a QA tester on the side of that as a main thing. Having QA as the biggest priority. I spent a lot of time designing the functionalities I wanted in the event, how I wanted everything to look. I remember working together with our super talented builder. There was one person who built the map. His name is Mubbles on Twitter and just in general, I think. Working together with him to make sure that our vision for the map and for what Showdown is, because we had the Craftmaster back then and all of all of those things,
Oh my
and
God,
it was kind of like
I completely forgot about that.
I know, it's like kind of like a twisted dream like universe, which is what we tried to create. So I don't know if you remember the first version of the map.
I can't even. I'll tell you. Like, I'm be honest. I can't even fully remember what Crossmaster is. I remember the name. I remember it existed. Now that you've brought it up, I'm struggling to remember what exactly it was. In all honesty.
Well, he was a figure. There was
it was the fella, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's the person with the big hat. So if you saw the live event we had at TwitchCon, I think Paris it was.
Yeah, I was
he came in with that big purple top hat and the special suit with like crystals on it and stuff like that.
Wait, sorry, just to correct it, it wasn't Paris then. It was was it the Netherlands one?
It might have been Rotterdam. Yeah, I don't remember where it was.
You said you were there, but you weren't at Paris.
Amsterdam.
It was Amsterdam. Was it Amsterdam? Yeah.
Oh, Amsterdam. Okay, yeah, it was the Europe
Sorry,
one.
I'm not to correct you. It's just so people don't get confused.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. Honestly, I thought it was Paris. Was it Paris last year?
Paris was last year's July. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, that's why it confused me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I remember that now.
It's just like, you know.
No, I get that. I actually remember that now. Yeah, so in Amsterdam, like you said, Orbitz, we kind of had the Craftmaster figure. That was our whole thing. TubNet had a whole lore behind it. We had Carrot, who was our creative director and all, who also played one of the biggest role. I've never seen anyone work as hard as him in TubNet. He is super talented, but he was the person who kind of focused on the lore side of things, and he had this Craftmaster character as well in there. And so the Craftmaster had this, like, I guess, twisted universe kind of thing. We tried separating Showdown a little bit from the original server with lore wise and stuff like that. They're different universes, but this Craftmaster figure has always kind of had this vibe around him. So we tried really taking that vibe and using it in a map. So we had like a big a train station actually, which was directly just inspired by the train station we have in my city. So I guess I kind of doxed myself on there if anyone can find out the maps. But but no, so we took that, we created like if you've ever watched, what is that one Doctor Strange movie where the world just kind of twists around.
The newest one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Multiverse Madness on it.
Yeah, and also there was also another one, I forgot the name of it.
Is it Spider-Man? The thing
it
in
might
Spider-Man
be that
movies?
one. Like the one where the world just kind of warps around.
Spider-Man. Yeah, the newest one.
Yeah,
the one where
it's also
forgets their
Inception.
brains or whatever.
Oh, Inception. Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
You're right. It's Inception.
Was it Inception as well? So we kind of took those two. Yeah, Inception. Yeah. So we kind of took those two vibes. In Inception, there's a picture of, it looks, I think it's the street of Paris with, I guess, the whole thing just curving upwards. So working together with the builder, we really wanted just a like cool, I guess, warp train station looking thing. Train station because Craftmaster somehow linked to trains and all of that. But no, that's kind of how we ended up working on it there. And he created a super cool map. I can send it to you later today if you want to put a picture of it in the video. But
honestly, people, I would, but like the video is
people probably already know what it is.
Looping. It's also just a video sitting there looping. I don't want people to like have to go back.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at like one picture because it's just so there's
no,
a video
on
on YouTube. So
yeah, no. So I mean, just to paint a picture, it's like I guess a train station with like a warp and Inception like vibe around it, a big portal looking thing, that the map is being sucked towards, and then a train station with I guess more of a dark purple atmosphere. But no, we worked on that. So I guess the whole organization thing was pretty much making sure that we had a full event that we could invite people to, and especially because we switched everything over to Knockout. We didn't have any prior, I guess, documentation, any work done for that. So I guess the first step of getting the thing set up and organized and designed was really just working together with developers and other people like Art and stuff like that to get the whole theming in place. And then, of course, we already had the idea that we wanted to do Knockout because that was kind of the main game mode we had. So I started working on how we could do structures for, I guess, matchmaking and how we would set everything up, how we would do the event. So we ended up doing 3 stages with 3 games, doing 9 games in total, plus a practice round. That ended up being our kind of way to do it. And we had to take, I guess, a little bit of a different take on it because Knockout is usually a solo game mode, but that wasn't really anything anything that we wanted for the event. So we ended up making it a duo game mode. So we had, and now that's where it gets complicated. So we had the 3 stages with 3 games in each of them. Each game had 4 games running at the same time with 3 teams in them. And it was really about making sure that that whole structure worked, working together with the developers, of course, making sure everything's thoroughly tested. And then I guess as the main thing, just making sure that we're on track with everything. And then, of course, I guess the main organization parts comes when, you pull people together. You have to make the teams. You have to find the people. We had our community manager send out a form. And then I looked through that form. I, pick people from that form. Sometimes we'd have more people than we would be able to fit in the event. So it was about, kind of giving everyone a shot, getting the substitute players and stuff like that, while trying to keep it slightly balanced, which, I did fail at once or twice. So that's I guess, part of the learning process, because I didn't really have any experience with event organization before that, apart from hosting a few small events on Vaderlands in my own streams and stuff like that.
Quite a baptism of fire. For such a big event if you've never done it before.
Well, I definitely, because that was one of those things, like, again, I thought it was super cool, so I really researched it and set myself into it. A lot of it was starting off with designing aspects of it, and then the whole organization part was, it isn't easy, but again, like, when you've worked with people before and if you're good at communicating with other people, you can kind of work around that and just make sure everyone is on track for what to do. And then, of course, I was like, after the first event, we got even better. Next event, and then we ended up with the last event being our best event we've ever done, showdown knockout wise. But it just kind of shows the whole process of, it's a big learning curve for everyone involved, because it was a whole new thing for us. But no, definitely super cool to be able to kind of be a part of that, because that was, again, one of those things I thought were really, really cool.
It was certainly interesting, like how it all kind of happened / went down. For example, like as a good event, and the concept and everything was great. I will be honest in saying it didn't always run too smoothly. Like, opinion. That's not me talking bad about it, because it still ran, and and once again, you gotta respect the consistency and how they tried to get it working. So it's not me talking the event. It's more so like, it wasn't always ran perfectly. However, it was still kind of a fun one.
No,
I'll be honest when I say, like, I wish I could have played in it. Like, I wish.
That would have been. I'm sure you would have liked it. But no, again, that's one of those things. That's. With the event going down a few times, there were certain features that kind of made it made things act up. But the very weird thing about it is, the very hard thing for just hosting events in general, is that when you do playtests, it's very, very difficult to replicate the same playstyle as the creators will.
Yes.
Because in these playtests, you're very, like, I guess, task oriented. You're focused on, okay, this is the scope of the things that we need to test, and this is what we're gonna test. And while we also did normal playthroughs, or I guess 10s, 20s, more than that, just a full playthroughs of the event, time after time, there is no money on the line. And I guess that's the main thing. Like, we had $5,000 on the line in our main events, but when we do playtests, there's no money on the line. So it's really hard, and I think that was the main kind of thing we had to adapt to over time, was really trying to replicate the play style of the players, which when we managed to do that, that's actually where the event started, functioning super well, and we managed to get everything sorted. And that was, still at the same time, we had a team of, like, I guess 15, 16 people once we did this, and this was all while still running the main server on the side. So there were, like, 2 different projects with, I guess, super talented team, but I guess limited resources in terms of, we are only this set amount of people, so we have to make everything balance and work out at the same time while pushing updates on the main server, but also getting the event out. So I think having all of that in mind, not being an event that was just solely event based, because obviously if we were just focused on an event, it would have been a lot different. But I guess having a team that were focused on 2 things at one time and still managing to make a pretty decent impact, I think, in the event community was super rewarding and cool.
Genuine question, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer or want to answer, but I'm trying my luck anyways. How did the payouts work? Like, when someone won, it's a random question. There's not really like, once again, you don't have to answer it. There's no pressure to. It's more so, I'm just curious, like, once somebody won an event, how did they receive their money? So, like, I had someone on the podcast who won a Mr. Beast event. They won like 40 grand, and they were explaining how it all worked. I think it was like a 6-month process or something, they said, and there's like tax and stuff. So how if you're happy to share?
The whole tax part I'm not very familiar with. And all of those things, I'd assume they'd have to pay their own taxes on it. But I might be totally wrong, so don't take my word for that. I mean, the way it works, we had 3, or I guess we'd have 6 winners. That prize pool would be split between those people, of course, with first place getting more, second place getting a little bit less.
Half for each team.
And, yeah, and then the team splitting it. I think usually and in general we did it with like a 30-day window. So I mean, all of those things weren't directly managed by TubNet, but I do think most of people got payment within 30 days. They would have to reach out to someone, and then it would be taken care of from there.
Okay.
Like a very vague answer, but the best I
mean,
can answer that.
It's a bit of it was a crappy question, to be fair. I just thought I'd ask it for the sake of asking.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, there's a whole much more process than that, but it's the best I can answer that.
Yes, fair.
To stick on maybe more controversial questions. So when did, if you can answer this, when did you sort of find out what was happening with TubNet and
Shutting down.
basically shutting down?
Yeah.
How did that all occur? And what was the process around that?
I mean, I'll answer as the best I can, obviously.
Yes.
So I think it was obvious that TubNet was lacking players for a while. I think everyone probably saw that, which was, I guess, the main pointer that, you know, there's something not working out here. And I mean, the whole team, we worked every week nonstop on that project. It was a passion project for everyone involved. But I mean, you can say it this way: a business can't run forever if there are no players, and it costs money. Tubbo made a whole video on it explaining the price of it and cost of doing stuff like that. But at the same time, I think, because we got hit with some massive DDoS attacks, like insanely big ones.
Yeah,
and Tubbo explained all of that in his video. So I think kind of pushing back or managing to push back from that was super cool. And I think we peaked in the months before closing with Tubbo on the server. I think we peaked over 1,000 players. So I mean, I think the most difficult part is to get retention on these servers. And I mean, once the player base is low, it's kind of hard to build up from that. So it's about always trying to optimize what we have while also, you know, working on new things on the side that could hopefully help the server out. Because I mean, we were working nonstop on the project, and I mean, I think going back to your question a little bit, we always kind of knew that there weren't a lot of players, and of course, I think can't run forever with the amount of players. But I don't think anyone really knew when it was going to happen, and I think every one of us was kind of hoping that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So when it did, it was of course, you know, one of those things where it's a project that you're super passionate about. You're in this team of people, and I think that was probably the hardest thing for me, was, you know, having a group of people that you're super close to and work with every day, and that you really enjoy, you know, working with, and really enjoy just in general to hang out with. Also on the side of work, like we played games, we had our own little fun nights where we were just chilled in calls and play video games. I think the hardest part was kind of realizing that everyone's going to go in their own path now. But I do think just in general, like when the news came out that TubNet was going to close down, it was, you know, we didn't hope it was going to happen. We kind of expected it to happen eventually.
Definitely still sad and still.
No, I can't really go more in depth with it, but
of course.
But it was one of those things that, you know,
situation all in all.
Yeah, we knew it might happen, but, you know, we were hoping it wouldn't, kind of thing.
It's kind of like with the podcast, for example. Like, you know, it's not monetized. I mean, I'm hoping it'll get monetized in Feb. It's looking like it. Even then, when it does get monetized, like, you know, that's only ads. And now I'm not expecting loads from it, and it's not the reason I do it is for money. But it's also a case of like, I can't hire people. I have volunteers, and I'm very blessed that everyone's a volunteer, and I'm so grateful for it. But I wouldn't be able to warrant spending. I mean, for instance, like so I uploaded a main channel video once back in the day, right? And I paid the editor £100. I don't know why I paid that much, but we're not going to get into that part of things. That video made me like £3, and I just couldn't warrant it. I couldn't warrant like that. So like with the podcast, I do everything myself, and it's like everything myself in a sense of I have a team, but I do like the main chunk of things, and it's a little bit tough in a sense of, you know, I do it and I can balance it because of work, but it's also how long will I be able to maintain this before it eventually gets to a point of like, you know, it's passion right now, but then when does it become too much just passion kind of thing? Like I'd like it to be passion with kind of a reward in a sense, you know?
No, I mean, obviously you're gonna want your hobbies to turn into things that you can kind of live on and do as a, like, I guess like a main project. And I think that's kind of for everything you work on that you really enjoy. Like you probably want it to be, you know, a thing you could do forever, and also, you know, make an income from it on the side, because that means you can go continue working on your dream while also, you know, having an income. So I think that's kind of the main thing for all of us. Like we have our projects that we want to work on, but, you know, eventually, you know, it needs money to fully run around and function the way we want it to.
Yeah. definitely. Well, from there, there's still a happy ending. You've obviously gone on to work for Misfits now, which is a big thing. How did that sort of come about?
AJX before that, can you remember what they do?
Misfits is a gaming.
No, Lumboc. Can you remember what Lumboc does for Misfits? Because you didn't know before the podcast.
QA testing on Roblox.
Oh, so you remembered. Hey, see, I knew that, nice. Lumboc. You can fact check this. I knew this before the podcast.
Oh, I am.
This has ruined my perfect transition.
As I do. I can't redo it. I will 100% cut this part out. 100%.
You won't cut it out.
From there, obviously, there's obviously a happy ending, however, because of course you've now gone on to move. You've ruined everything.
I'm not cutting it out, by the way. Just re-ask the
question. Fired. Basically, I was going, how did that sort of happen? How did that come about? Obviously, Tubbo has worked with Misfits before. Is it the right Misfits? There's a lot of Misfits.
You're talking about the right Misfits.
Sort of, where does that come about from?
Yeah. No, I mean, Misfits has always been super close. They, I guess, in a sense, co-own TubNet, if that kind of makes sense. Like they were, a super helpful part of TubNet and how we managed to get as far as we got. Like the people at Misfits were great, awesome, super nice. And I guess kind of to how I got into a position at Misfits was we had, I guess, the quote unquote, I don't really know what to call it, lead project manager type thing of TubNet. That wasn't the name of the role. I don't really know what to call it, but no, we kind of talked, got to know each other. We had 2 QA testers. We had me and one more person, and I think, and I don't, he reached out to me asking if that was something I would be interested in.
Sorry,
I don't think I can say that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, cool.
Or I don't know if I can, so I'll not say it. But yeah, no. I guess the guy overseeing the project from Misfits reached out to me and asked if eventually a position at Misfits as a QA test lead is something that I would be interested in. And I said, yeah, definitely. That sounds super cool. Of course, there was nothing confirmed yet. That was before Christmas last year, so it was around 2 months ago. Actually a little less than 1 month ago. As I said, yeah, that sounds super cool. I didn't know what was going to come out of it. TubNet was still running at that time, but I mean, TubNet then eventually led to it going on hiatus, and I actually just kind of slowly transitioned over to Misfits, which is again cool because I knew pretty much all of the people there. There were some new people that I hadn't met before, but everyone was super familiar. So now working at that place, I know most of the people, even the people I haven't worked with before. You get to know people super quickly when being on a team like that, and yeah, that's kind of how how I landed up, or how I ended up at Misfits as a QA test lead there.
And as for Roblox, I mean, definitely interesting.
So I mean,
I've only ever really known Misfits as like an org. I've really thought about it as like having Roblox games.
Yeah, I mean, they started off with, I think it was Carl Jacobs and Creekcraft. They made their Pixel Playground. That's kind of how they got into the Roblox scene there, I think. I don't know the full story on if that's the first Roblox thing they did, but I know that's been one of the projects they have there with Roblox with Creekcraft and Carl Jacobs.
Do you think they'll ever transition into other games? I mean, like, could we say a Misfits GG Twitch Rivals event? Like, this is not trying to get anything. This is, you really want to say this. This is your opinion, is your answer right now.
Wait, say the question again.
Do you think there could be like a Misfits GG? But the only reason I'm asking is I'm watching a Twitch Rivals event. Okay, I have been. Sorry, not like during the podcast. I was watching it before, and I'm gonna watch it after. Do you think there'll ever be like a Twitch Rivals Misfits kind of collab? Opinionated.
I have no idea. It would be cool. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there would eventually be something, but I don't actually know. I don't know if there have ever been Twitch Rivals. I bet there have. I have no idea. But I mean, I think they could be cool. I'm sure. I mean, I've seen, and I've slowly gotten more into Roblox. I played Roblox a bit in the past, but I've seen now, trying to understand it more and get into it more, the crazy things people have made with Roblox. And right. I mean, you can make so much more than you can with Minecraft. While you can do a lot with Minecraft, there's just endless of opportunities there. So I definitely think that it's a possibility. But if that's going to happen, that's a question for another time. But it would be cool. I think it would be super cool.
Yeah, once again, it was just like another kind of throwaway question, same as the whole well.
Yeah.
Just get little things in there, you know, expand.
Oh yeah, banned under
Expand
everything.
the questions. I don't know. That's. I mean, it's partial lucky that it happened, but it's also really nice. So would you be working on both then? Do you reckon? If like, how would you have had the time to work on both ever? Do you think, or like both TubNet
Like on Misfits and
Misfits,
TubNet?
yeah. Like if it ever came to it, somehow,
Probably.
do you think you'd have time?
I mean, it'd be difficult because I mean, it's two different things. It's, you know, times will contradict because I mean they're both a US based company.
You're
You know,
US
they're-
as well, if you don't mind me asking.
No, I'm from Europe. I'm from Denmark.
You're European?
Yeah.
Oh,
How could you not tell?
that's really cool, actually. Oh man, my respect just went up by loads.
Okay.
I could just tell. But
See, the thing is, I don't really pay too much attention. I do. I don't
Like
pay attention to accents. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm 1 hour apart for you.
It's also because I looked through your Twitter and saw that you was leaving New York, so I thought I was still go on holiday, not to go back home. So.
No, that was to go back
Partial
home.
bad research. There you go. But I mean, you know, I still did research at the end of the day. You know,
Still has the IP address.
but no, that we're not doing this bit on you know what? Just for the sake of it, the viewers don't get to know what that bit is. There you go. But yeah, I do. Anyways.
But no, I'm from Europe. So I mean, with having US based companies, of course, the times are gonna overlap. So just work wise, it'd be pretty hard to manage it. Of course, I still want my free time. I have my own projects that I want to work on, my own things that I want to work on. So I think if I was to do two of those things at the same time, it would just be too much.
Yeah, fair enough. So, if you can, what would you have picked in the end, do you reckon? Would you have stuck with TubNet?
I mean, I
switched?
I think I would have probably fully stuck with TubNet because I mean that was, you know, the main project I've worked on for so long. Also, when it comes to uncertainty and stuff like that, it was nice to know that there was an opportunity out there. And especially once TubNet actually went hiatus, it was nice, you know, having something lined up that I didn't expect 3 months ago would be lined up, while still being uncertain on, you know, if the server's still going to run or not. So kind of with that, I guess I was lucky in a sense, but I also do think, because I mean I put a lot of effort into my work, so I do definitely think that it would have been the same direction I would have gone, even if I wasn't directly, I guess, hired by Misfits.
You've done well, so, you know, fair play to you. Big respect.
Thank you.
And I'm very, very excited to see where your journey goes, all in all.
Same.
Quits Minecraft. You know, we should change to Inside Roblox. There you go. Inside RB. That's our new name.
Honestly, it might get more views.
Wow. Ouch. All this hard work.
I mean, because
This
Roblox is popular more than anything, but
Well, Minecraft's still there, but no, I
it's
think,
still there.
Yeah, I mean, I do still play Minecraft. It's still like my favorite game. I played it for since I was, you know, as young as I can remember. So that's still, you know, while I work with other platforms now, I think that's still going to be my main focus. And I mean, I cannot say if I've been working on an event myself, but that would definitely be in Minecraft as well.
That's what I was actually about to ask. I was going to like kind of transition into, you know, you've QA tested for so many events and all that kind of jazz. Have you ever thought about doing one of your own? But you've just kind of shut that down.
Well, I mean, I can expand. I can expand on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I'm working on it. I'm working on an event. I've been wanting to make an event before. I think I tried it once before, but that was without any experience. And that was kind of like, we had a plan, but we didn't have a plan. We didn't have any developers. I didn't have any money back then, really.
That's fair, yeah.
But now, I mean, I guess I have a lot of experience in, I guess the event space in general, that I do think that I want to. And I also have a bunch of connections and people in the Minecraft community I know, which are all, I guess, the key components to make an event. So I mean, I want to. I'm trying my very hardest to work on something that hopefully in the next year or so would be something that you're gonna see.
And I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget about me and AJX.
Oh no, I
Right.
want. You'll be the first people invited.
No way. Surely. Nah, no pressure, no pressure. But
Yeah, no. So I mean, the hardest thing with those things is, of course, funding. So making sure that's all in place. But no, there might be something cooking up.
like right now, I mean, I'm player manager for Minecraft Mayhem. AJX is team maker. So like right now, it's, you know, me choosing who kind of.
Oh, get me in there. What?
Huh? Oh god. Oh,
Ah!
oh, no, I've been
Oh
very
yeah!
smart.
This
Wait,
is
when you
yeah.
answer
Turn
your
it back
own,
around
I'm
a
very
little.
No, but it's like choosing who to invite and stuff like that. I mean, stream more, Lumboc. Stream more, and then sure.
You know what? I actually just got invited to an SMP that hopefully, I mean, it's with a bunch of pretty big creators. That there's going to be some
Then
stuff
you
coming
leak the
there.
SMP.
Very
like,
excited about that.
This podcast comes out next Wednesday, so you're able to leak it or no? Or like reveal it, I guess.
Can I might be able to. You know what? I'll leak it and I'll spam you if I can't.
You know what?
but
Leak it to us and I'll mute it. There we go.
No, I actually think I can because I think it'll be out by then. I'm pretty sure it will be. It's gonna be called The Castaways. It has a bunch of people in there. Some people who have been focusing on, I guess, like 100 days content. Some people who are builders. Some people who are, doing all those cool things in the Minecraft community. I don't know the exact amount of, I guess, following everyone has combined, but I mean, we're definitely up in the triple digits for some people. I've been wanting to get back into it because that I guess was kind of what led me into all that I've been doing. And I used to have a pretty big community back then. I think I averaged like 100 viewers per stream back when I did Invaderlands. Once I started doing Hypixel Skyblock, it was like 50. So I kind of miss it, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, I was averaging close to 60 viewers a stream, and it never felt like enough. And I
think it was all kind of.
I was so ungrateful.
Oh no, I think it was all current like COVID, where everything really started off for me as well. But I mean, I was in an SMP called the Creators SMP, which is also one of those things that really kickstarted me. We had, I think, millions of impressions on TikTok for years from the thing, which was crazy for me because I had never seen numbers like that. But then I started really focusing on shorts, which I think I upload shorts for like, I was just pushing them out like crazy. And I upload 2 shorts a day, every day for like a month or 2. And that also led to like 2 million views and some things there. So consistency, man.
I mean, kind of what we're trying to get out with the podcast. This is the 21st midweek MC. That's midweek MC. That means for the last 21 weeks, I have uploaded 2 podcasts every single week.
That is way crazier than shorts. Not gonna
You can drink now.
Oh my god, no way. I mean, 21 weeks, I don't think so, AJX. I mean,
you are from Europe.
Each your own. Oh no, I love a good drink, mate. I drink alcohol. I haven't, to be fair, I haven't in a few days.
I drink alcohol.
I drink alcohol. That's what I do.
I'm an alcohol consumer. There we go. With that in mind,
the midweek drunk podcast.
Oh, I mean, true. I don't know, but AJX, you don't drink, really. So
no, I can do it for one podcast.
Well, okay, not get drunk. I don't really get drunk with content.
No, I reckon we do that.
Okay,
cool. Hammer
we'll
MC.
When can we do it? What if we do it? We'll do it at one point. How does that sound? I'll just take that.
Hammer MC, the next new podcast.
Welcome back to the drunk podcast. We are drinking. I have an idea for a date, but I'm not going to say it because in case it doesn't happen or I don't want to leak and spoil it. So we'll say.
Okay.
With that in mind,
starting something new.
Exactly. I mean, it's normally me who's starting the trends on the podcast, like getting people to do stuff. But like now, you're getting us to do something. It's crazy.
It's okay. I'll be claiming my royalty check after this.
Do you drink, Lumboc?
Do I drink? Not really. I mean, I can, but I don't tend to.
You don't consume alcohol much, then, do you?
Once in a while.
Every now and then when you feel like it.
Every now and then.
I don't really get drunk. It's hard for me to get drunk, to be honest. Especially when I'm at home.
I think I've been drunk once and I hated it. So
I just don't really know how people do it when they're at home. Like people do like drunk teams and stuff like that. It's like I
have no idea.
I just can't seem to go. I mean, I'll just have to go to a shop and just buy a crap ton of Guinness and I'll just keep downing it.
It's okay. It's called pretending.
Oh yeah, podcast. No, I'd never pretend. Not me. So real. Before we move into the Twitter questions then, is there anything in specific do you feel like we haven't touched on that you'd like to talk about? Or I feel like we've been on. Can you believe, and the podcast won't be this long, that we've been recording for an hour and 10 minutes?
Oh my god, really?
I know, it doesn't feel like that. Time flies when
No. I was gonna say I've explained my whole life story. Did that take an hour? What the fuck?
Give or take. But yeah, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we've missed out? Or
oh my god, let me think.
I mean, if you have to think about it, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think we've covered Misfits, TubNet, Invaderlands, content, future event ideas, and plans. We've covered a lot.
We've covered everything that we need.
Weird. Awesome.
Right. I say Twitter questions. We only have one. Oops.
Was it the bald one?
Oh no. Okay. So we have Ogarth calling you a goat. That's not a question, Ogarth. But fair enough. You better speak about his bestie. You've already spoken about IP addresses. That's fine. My favorite VIP. I mean, none of these are questions. Okay. We do.
You know what? I specifically know who asked that question. I'm specifically
Which
not
one?
gonna say their name.
Oh, what
okay.
should I not say
My
it then?
bestie Lumboc.
Oh,
You know
the
what?
bestie one,
No,
okay.
no. You know what? If they're watching it, yeah, no, don't say it.
I'm not revealing who the possible bestie is. They don't get the attention. Right, but
Nope.
we do have a question from random letter spam. Just smashed their head on the keyboard. Great, okay.
Oh yeah.
My freshest sources tell me you're bald. Care to comment?
I'm not okay. Here, I have a head full of hair,
Bald bot.
not bald. Yeah.
Actually, wait,
No,
I just
but-
realized this podcast has gone full circle now. Wait.
That's how it goes. Starting with bald, ending on bald.
Once you cut
That's
your
how the
hair,
world
you-
works.
It was actually the biggest meme back then. I don't know why it started and how it started.
It wasn't really just with you. I mean, even in my old community, calling someone bald was like just weirdly a common thing to do. I guess. I mean, sometimes
it was
in a
real,
sense
like-
of calling someone bad at the game. It's like, oh, you're bald.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
There was like really every time I streamed, I had like hundreds of "you're bald, you're bald, you're bald," donations, comments, messages, everything. I was like, what? I have
Maybe
no
you
idea how it
deserve
started. No, yeah, I guess. I guess they're just foreshadowing to when I get old and bald, and
Oh,
you
are
know.
you? So you're not, no?
You know what? Considering, you know, if this podcast gets 10,000 likes, which I know it won't, I'll go bald.
You
So,
know it won't. Wow. Ouch.
I hope not. I'd be
toxic.
I know it
genuinely
won't
sorry if
as well.
That's so
I
toxic.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but you know,
No, it's crazy. No forgiveness.
when it's about going bald, you know, I have my limit. So
I hope
you know,
this podcast fails.
if this one pops off and gets 10,000, I will actually be so upset. But no, yeah.
Wow. Ow.
Pretty bold ain't that bad.
No, I'm only messing.
Just because of
I
the
don't even
bald
think you'll
thing.
get 10,000 views. I mean, you never know. The highest viewed podcast is like 3K, but it's still growing. I mean, you know, one day.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
copium,
sure you'll get there.
Copium.
Keep pushing.
The grind set
That's
that's the
alright.
mentality. Rah!
Keep grinding.
Exactly. With that being said, then I think that brings the end of this midweek MC. When you think AJX.
Oh, to the year.
But before I do the
Oh,
outro,
did you want me to end it? Oh, okay.
Oh no. You are gonna do the outro, but before we do,
Oh.
we always like. I mean, I'll do the outro then. Fine, whatever. It's fine.
No, I'll do it.
We always like to give the guests to the chance to kind of promote themselves. Where can we find you? What's your Twitter handle? Your YouTube handle? I mean, if you wanna, I don't know.
Oh
reveal
yeah, let me
anything,
do
it's up to you.
the free promotion. Lumboc on YouTube and on Twitch, and Cool Kid Lumboc. Keep that in mind on Twitter.
Can't spell.
I'm not
cool spell wrong.
What? No, that's a cool way of spelling it. So you know, Cool Kid with a
Yeah.
K.
Oh, get wrecked, always.
Yeah.
Cut up it.
So
Sorry.
you're like a married couple. It's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
James would not agree with that statement, certainly. Doesn't know
But no,
that
that is where you can find me.
What, the
Oh,
married
yeah.
couple? Oh no, Cool Kid Lumboc, got you. Sorry. What did I say? My bad. Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, great. There you go. Go look up Lumboc. They're working with Misfits right now. What's on?
Or
They carried,
Roblox.
well, not carried, but
I-
like did an amazing job with like TubNet and TubNet Showdown, all that kind of stuff. And you've got to hear all about it today. Yeah,
Woohoo. Well, thank you guys for inviting me. It's been great.
no worries. I mean, I actually can't. Well, I know I can remember I invited you. I saw you on Twitter, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to have somebody like kind of working on the event in. Because obviously, I mean, like, you know, it's not fully because of that, but it's also it's like someone invited me on a podcast because I run a podcast. I'd be there.
No, I get that.
Does that make sense? So, and then
Yeah,
it just
that makes
turned out
sense.
that now you work with Misfits, so he had even more to talk about. This was a great podcast. I really
So
liked
much
this.
stuff.
And
We
time
got
just
the life
flew.
story,
amazing. You're amazing.
the life story podcast.
You're interesting to talk to, and I'm very excited. I mean, I follow you on Twitter anyway, so I'm excited to see how kind of your journey plays out now.
Thank you. I've seen your streams, Orbit. So you know,
Oh, no.
I've been lurking. I've been lurking
Well,
on
my
your
FIFA streams.
Yeah, your FIFA stream. I've been lurking.
Oh,
I have
man,
no clue what FIFA is about. I know what it is, but I've never played it.
I just waffle,
I mean,
man. I just waffle. Man.
the 2-hour yapping streams. I enjoy them.
Some more. Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, you did follow me a while back. Yeah,
I
think
did follow
followed me
you.
when I
Yeah, you
invited
were
on the
playing.
podcast,
You were
yeah.
playing Choo Choo Charles.
Oh, you followed me that stream, didn't you? Oh god, yeah. And I think I
I
was
did.
worried I gave a really bad first impression because I was playing Choo Choo Charles.
Well, you kept dying, but that's, you know.
But that's because it was hardcore mode. I was like, I've completed like actual Choo Choo Charles. I just couldn't complete that one. So, give
Oh
me a
right,
break, come
dude.
on.
You give a
You'll
bad
get there.
impression to everyone you meet. Firstly.
All right, well, time to do the outro, AJX. Before we end the bullying of InsaneOrbitzz, let's wrap it up.
Once again, thank you so much, Lumboc, for being on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
I did get to say it. Thank you, Orbitz, as always.
No, yeah, thank
Wonderful
you.
help. And make sure to like and subscribe.
No way.
And of
You
course,
gotta tell them to turn on that notification bell as well.
ding ding,
Hit that
motherfuckers.
notification bell in 5 seconds.
And of course, peace.
Don't eat too much bread. You
Yeah,
should've
he
said
always
that.
says this.
You should've said, and
you
of
always
course,
say this.
don't
No,
eat too
no,
much
no,
bread.
no, no.
You should have said it.
Peace.
The drunk podcast you are.
Don't eat too much bread.